natin yung gagawin.
Yeah, I mean, yun nga eh. One of the narratives that keeps on coming up, false narrative that keeps on coming up from certain quarters is tayo ang nagpo-provoke. Tayo ang, we raise the tensions. And, recently there was this announcement that we'll get F-16 fighters. Finally, right? And I've been pushing for that behind the scenes with our friends in Heritage Foundation, among others. So I'm glad that mukhang may chance final to get one decent, because no offense to FA-50s, are just trainer fighters.
Yeah.
And then sabi ng China, provocation yan. Typhoon missile, you put it there, sabi na provocation yan. I mean, China is a nuclear-powered, biggest navy in the world.
Ilan ba yung mga ICBMs nila?
Na nag-test noong last September.
Yes.
So,
sino ba yung may biggest navy sa region? Di ba? Kakapiranggot lang yung atin. Yung 20 na F-16 sa binanggit mo, baliwala yun, no? Maski kayo mo 100 yun. No, we cannot really.
O hindi naman baliwala. I mean, in a sense of threatening China. Pero defending may importante.
I mean, hindi sa baliwala. But,
what you're meaning is that it's not a threat to China.
Yes, hindi siya threat. No? Pero pinapakita siyempre natin na meron tayong commitment, meron tayong will to defend our sovereignty. No? Pero kung sa sheer numbers lang, ilan ba yung fighter jets ng China? 2,000, 3,000 fighters.
Including fifth-generation fighters?
Yes. So,
two classes.
Yung sa atin, 20 pa lang, nahihirapan na tayo kumuha. Hindi ba?
Right.
So, actually, ang requirement natin, 40. No? Hindi pa natin alam kung saan natin kukunin yung kalahati. No? Yung hindi tayo talaga threat eh. Actually, dinidepensahan lang natin yung sovereignty talaga natin.
I just had a conversation with Commodore Tariela recently, and sabi ni Commodore Tariela, he had an experience na one day nasa restaurant daw siya, tapos may lumapit sa kanya. Sabi niya, alam mo, Commodore, dati galit na galit ako sa'yo. Kasi tatlo yung anak ko, purong lalaki, takot ako pag magkaroon ng giyera, papadali sila bilang sindalo, mamamatay sila dahil sa mga pinaggagawa niyo. Pero ngayon na-realize ko, actually, tama yung ginagawa niyo. At hindi naman may threat of giyera. Actually, pati China, ingat din sila. In short, if you show resolve and you have some basic minimum capabilities, actually, in China, magdadalawang isip rin di ba? It's when you're weak that they actually push the envelope.
So I agree with you.
So that's Richard, the deterrence factor I want to talk about.
Deterrence factor. And of course, yung ganyang mga narratives, no, very pervasive yan during the past administration, no, that we were threatened with war by just, asserting our rights, asserting the 2016 arbitration, it will result to war, no? Parang yung mga tao doon, nagugulat sila, no? But we must all realize na these are all, especially yung, for example, yung modernization ng armed forces natin, these are just restoring lost capabilities. Ito palagi ko itong sinasabi, no? Yung capabilities natin during the 60s and the 70s, we're just restoring them. The ships that are coming in na bago, they're just replacing the World War II ships that were decommissioned a few years back. So hindi talaga sinasabi ng mga tao, nag-arms race ang Philippines. Hindi. Pinapalitan lang namin
modernization lang yan.
Yes, actually we are replacing them. Yeah. We are not even adding to yung tinanggal natin, significant adding to the numbers. Replacement lang talaga siya.
Yeah, because may levels in it. Arms race is like you're really on an offensive mode, way beyond your basic requirements. Yeah. Modernization is you have some great stuff, but you want to make it greater. Us is, wala na, kinakalawang na. Kailangan pilagay ng bago. Kasi maging museum na yung ating Navy. But in fairness, I visited yung mga warships natin. Most of these are Korean-made, quite modern. I think people don't realize, Sherwin, na actually, hindi na ito 1990s or 2000s. Ang laki na improvement. The person who pointed that out most eloquently is yung kaibigan natin si Dr. Colin Cole from RSIS. Right. He said one of his favorite lectures whenever he's giving lectures sa Rajaratnam School is, sabi niya, pag tinignan mo yung mga exercises ng 2011, ito yung barko ng Pilipinas sa parang kawawa dun sa mga rimpak exercises. Biglang pag 2018-20, biglang makita mo, actually, matino na yung mga... sabi niya, Philippines is the most impressive case of basically going from zero to almost hero. Kasi tayo lang sa West Philippines yung lumalaban ngayon sa China. Transparency Initiative. Biglang may trilateral na tayo with Japan. So, while you're absolutely right, now we're not a threat to China in the sense that China is just a superpower, at the same time, we're also hindi tayo pichugin. I mean, we're dramatically increasing from where we were starting 10 years ago, right?
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Richard. Kung titingnan mo yung mga current purchases din natin, like yung Miguel Malvar class ng mga frigates natin, Jose Rizal class, ito yung mga modern warships na, no, na binili ng ating gobyerno, no. And we're also planning to get, of course, yung F-16 na nabanggit mo. There's some news na we're planning to get 5th generation fighters itong galing Korea, no? Yung KF-21.
The next generation.
Yung
so
next
that's the good thing
generation.
about the FA fighters because it puts you in the front line for that. And I think the Indonesians backed out from that. They were supposedly
nandun pa rin yata sila, pero medyo lukewarm lang. Pero ang maganda rin nito, Richard, no, as we upgrade our capability, no, meron din tayong bagong batas ngayon that tends to modernize yung industrial base natin, no, yung defense industrial base, no. Mahalaga to kasi in order to sustain, for example, all of these purchases, no, we need local companies partnering with, foreign companies, technology transfers.
So shout out natin si Speaker Martin Romualdez. In fairness, you don't have many speakers out there who are actually active on the West Philippine Sea. He visited Pag-asa. I mean, in fairness to him, I know there are many people who have negative stereotypes of congressmen and speakers. But if there's one thing I'll give to Speaker Romualdez, he played a very important role, including on this issue of creating a military-industrial base for maintenance and even development of our own defense platforms.
Development of our own.
In fairness.
So ngayon lang yan, ngayon lang, sa time ni President Marcos. Although, inumpisahan niya ni President Marcos Sr.
May bongbong, tayo dati, di ba?
Bongbong missile, no? Meron tayo dati niya. Pero of course, hindi na natuloy yan. No? Dati nakakapag-manufacture tayo ng mga small arms natin, no? Under license. No? Pero ngayon, binabalik natin yan. So makikita natin, over the past several years, naging significant na talagang improvement sa ating defense levels. Pero kailangan mas marami pa dapat.
And last, and this is very important, no? How do you see the alliance with the US going and at the same time hedging and diversifying? Kasi sa isang banda, in fairness, I think the term I use is strategic empathy. We had on one of my shows, si Elbridge Colby is now running the policy at the Pentagon. He was critical of NATO countries not spending enough. He, in the Senate hearing recently, said Japan should spend 3%, which is almost twice their current level. He said Taiwan 10%. They never mentioned the Philippines. Sobrang bait nila sa Pilipinas. They never put quota on us. Pete Hegseth, who came here in his very Fox News anchor, and said, President Trump loves your country, special. I think they were quite genuine. I mean, because I didn't see them that warm with Europeans and others. I was in Brussels when that was happening, and tuloy yung deployment. Baka may second Typhoon pa. Some new missile systems will be used this year. NIMS, you mentioned NIMS, you mentioned it, and then F-16 fighter deal. Not to mention 5.1 or 5.3 billion dollars, depending on the exchange rates, in the next 4 to 5 years of bilateral defense aid sa AFP.
Right.
That doesn't look like abandonment. That doesn't look like isolationism. That looks like doubling down.
Tsaka nung nagkaroon ng freezing of military aid, no? Ang Trump
exempted tayo kaagad.
In-exempt kaagad ang Philippines. No? That goes to show na meron silang
special place for us.
Not really a special place, but a recognition of our importance, no? Kasi nga nasa first island chain tayo.
Sorry, tayong special place period. And they're just recognizing that.
And they have EDCA sites here. And we have been doing a lot of exercises with them, no? And palaki ng palaki yung mga exercises natin, Richard, ano? Di ba? Na-recognize natin or na-recognize nila na very vital ang role ng Philippines in terms of the South China Sea, West Philippine Sea.
But it goes without saying, this is Trump administration, and and I think our good ambassador Romualdez said, you also don't know what comes after Trump. Maybe if it's J.D. Vance, he might have an even more isolationist view of the world, right? So, how important is yung mga ginagawa natin with Japan, the reciprocal access agreement with them? I was in New Zealand last year, a special tour. I talked to their defense ministry, foreign ministry, prime minister's office, etc. They're very interested in getting more involved in us. Indians, I was in New Delhi the other month, and the Indians are believe sila sa Pilipinas, and yung BrahMos deal, they see this as a big milestone. How do you see all those other powers? The French, their minister was just here the other day. Macron may visit here later this year. How do you see those powers also working with us?
Kasi nga, tama yung sinasabi ni President Marcos, itong West Philippine Sea, South China Sea, hindi lang to usapin ng ASEAN. Usapin to ng buong mundo. So the more we can invite all of these countries to be involved, the better. And at the same time, na-implement na rin natin yung UNCLOS, yung ating arbitral award. By all of these joint patrols na ginagawa ng ating mga allies with us.
Phone ops.
Yeah, phone ops, di ba? Na napapakita na rin natin na ito na yung actual implementation. Now, tinanong mo ko, mas magbe-benefit ba ang Philippines kung marami tayong mga allies like Japan, New Zealand now, na magkakaroon ng VFA tayo with New Zealand? Ang sagot ko dan, yes, di ba? The more partnership we will have, no? Mas nakikita ng mga bully dito sa region natin, no? Yung mga siga dito na, teka, marami palang kakampi tong Pilipinas, di ba? Hindi natin basta-basta to tsugiin, di ba? Or ibubuli ulit, ano? Yun yung
And more important, I would say, we're gonna be ASEAN chair next year, di ba? It's also signaling to the ASEAN that hindi lang tayo puppet ng US. That we're not just the US. That actually we're a middle power. Yeah. Are we a middle power? Or should we become a full-fledged middle power?
Well, may episode ka dyan, di ba, na sinasabi mo na we are. No? But ang sa akin naman is, yung primacy ng rule of law importante.
Rules-based international order.
Rules-based international order. Mas importante yun Hindi pwede dito yung yung might is right, no? Yung mas malaki yung barko mo, babanggain mo kami.
Rule of jungle,
hindi pwede yung mga malapiratang, yung pirate-like thinking or belligerent actions, no? Hindi pwede yun, no? May karapatan ng bawat bansa dito.
Hindi pwede jet ski na
kung gusto mo mag-jet ski.
Sabi niyo yung bata, magpapakamatay ako dyan! Magpapakamatay ako dyan!
Kailangan i-account natin dito mga politicians na to, di ba? Na nagsasabi ng mga ganyan. Di ba? Pro-Philippines kami, pero ina-undermine yung mga purchases. Or, di ba? Yung mga ganun.
Lastly, let's go circle back where we started. How to make the Filipino nation more resilient on the West Philippine Sea issue. Narratives. I mean, what is the whole of nation approach that you think is best? Yun na lang, I think that's the perfect way of putting it. Yeah.
Ako, mabigat na tanong yan, na bilang isang researcher or scholar, nahihirapan pa rin akong makakita kung anong totoong sagot dyan, Right. So, unang-una, yung dapat hindi tayo fragmented
Correct.
No? Yung hindi yung kanya-kanyang diskarte, hindi yung sabog, Dapat din isipin natin na yung resiliency kasi naka-anchor yan doon sa strategic vision Hindi ba yung ano ba yung pangmatagalang tingin natin dito sa West Philippine Sea? Palagi kong sinasabi na existential threat to sa Pilipinas yung paglalagay ng mga artificial islands diyan na fully militarized, Richard, na merong mga missile dyan, merong mga bombers dyan na nakalagay. These are existential threat to the Philippines. Dapat ganun tayo mag-isip. And hindi lang dapat DN dito, Richard. Hindi lang dapat ito National Maritime Council.
Right.
Kasi yung kalaban natin, ang ginagawa, United Front paano mo lalabanan yung United Front kung DND lang or DILG lang or National Maritime Council lang? So dapat mas collaborative yung tinatawag na collaborative defense posture, yung tinitingnan natin kung ano yung resources natin, tapos tinitingnan natin ano ba ang pwede nating gamitin to respond to this.
Yung sabi ng iba, yung padala natin yung mga badyaw, mga ganyan, special forces kasi kayang-kaya nila ng matagal. What do you think about civil militia forces?
I totally agree. Hindi lang naman ito para sa mobilization kasi ang inaano ng iba, magmobilize ba tayo ng mga citizens natin? Siguro darating yung point na yun, hindi ko alam kung kailan, but
sana hindi, pero
sana hindi, pero yung awareness ba?
Yeah.
Kasi 'di ba pag nagpunta ka sa Mindanao for example, iba yung tingin nila sa West Philippine Sea Pagka nagpunta ka sa Visayas, iba rin yung tingin nila sa West Philippine Sea. So, kailangan magkaroon tayo ng
alignment.
Oo, pare-pareho dapat tayo.
Solidarity, actually, I would say more solidarity.
Yung laban dito ay hindi lang laban ng taga-Luzon yan
Correct.
Dahil hindi pwede sabihin ng mga taga-Mindanao, malapit kayo dyan kayo lang muna dyan. Diba? Wala kaming alam dyan, hindi ba?
So basically, damay-damay dapat ang mindset.
Yes. Isa lang naman yung Pilipinas di ba?
Exactly.
So yun yung di ba?
And I think people have to realize our energy security, paubos na yung Malampaya. I had the DOE secretary on another show of mine. We're trying to juice out whatever we can, pero paubos na yung Malampaya. So if we don't develop read bank, yari yung buong bansa.
Yari, di ba? Magkano yung i-increase sa electric bill mo?
Yari tayong lahat.
Di ba? Yan ang kailangan ma-realize sa mga tao.
And food security. So whether Mindanao, Visayas, or Luzon, damay-damay yan. So actually, we have to stand in solidarity. in the same way that I always say, we also have to have an understanding of historical injustices sa mga kapatid natin sa Mindanao, and also some of the legitimate grievances of mga kapatid natin in Visayas who feel dito, etong mga Taga-Luzon, ang yabang-yabang nila, among other things. Thank you so much, Doc Sherwin.
Pleasure.
Hopefully, this is just the beginning of more discussion on this kasi mukhang mahabang usapan to. This is gonna be a marathon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that great conversation. Thank you very much for joining us for this latest episode ng FYI, Voter Education. Talagang tignan na naman, next level ang discussion natin dito. But of course, mahabang usapan ito. We don't pretend to have all the answers or even a final answer, but at least we're trying to ask the right question. So kumbaga, it's not all about us educating you, it's all about us educating ourselves together with intelligent and informed discussion. So abangan nyo yung mga susunod na episode. Pag-usapan din natin, Senate hearing, Senate race, latest surveys and data by our friends from WR Numero, from Okta, among others, para maintindihan natin yung evolving political landscape within the Philippines. Maraming salamat. God bless. God bless the Philippines.